KOA or state parks, which do you prefer? For me, as I'm being a retired senior and an RVer, the choice is very clear. While KOAs are convenient, state parks have a lot more to offer. Stick around. I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why I prefer state parks over KOAs. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Chuck with Lake to Lake. My channel is all about seniors, getting you out and camping and going RVing and spending time in nature and getting the most out of RV life. I share tips, campground reviews, and how-tos, and gear recommendations to make your life much smoother during your RV travels. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next big adventure. Cost savings. One of the biggest factors is cost. KOAs can charge $50 to $90 a night, and if you get to a real resort, one with a lazy Susan and all the bells and whistles, you could be spending up to $150 a night at a KOA. By comparison, state parks usually run $20 to $40 a night. That's quite a big savings, especially if you're on a fixed income, retired, like me and my wife are. And many states offer senior citizen discounts. And you can even get a bigger price break there. And if you buy a 14-day pass in some states, you even get it cheaper. You can get it down to $10 or $15 a night. That's a huge difference in cost. Think about it. You could save enough money staying at a state park for a week to pay for your fuel, your groceries, and maybe an extended trip out with your grandkids. At the KOA, you'd pretty much be locked in to staying there for the same amount of money. Last summer, I went to Des Moines, Iowa, and stayed at the KOA there. I spent there 3 nights. It was $250. A week later, I went to a state park and spent $69 for 3 nights. That's a huge savings as compared to $250 at a KOA. And for less, that'd be less than half to stay at a state park. And honestly, the state park fit my lifestyle a lot better than a KOA did. It's got to be convenient to stop at a KOA. And that's got to be close to the highways, which means noise, traffic, and less scenery. State parks, on the other hand, are generally out of the way a ways a little bit. They're down the road away from the highways. They're generally state parks are around lakes, forests. That puts you right in the middle of nature, right where as a retired person you want to be. There's something peaceful about waking up in the morning to a bird singing, as opposed to the sound of semis going roaring by. When we went to Clinton State Park the last time, we parked our RV right back up next to a huge open field, and there was a tree line on the other side. Every morning we woke up and we saw deer grazing on that tree line. Can you think of a better thing to do than wake up in the morning, drink your coffee, and watching some deer grazing in the field? You'll never get that at a KOA, but you'll get that at state parks. Believe me, that's the way it is. Reason number 3, the atmosphere. Atmosphere. KOA's atmosphere is kids, families, excitement, bounce houses, swimming pools, putt-putts, video arcade games. It's almost like a carnival atmosphere, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. But as seniors, we want to get back to nature. We want to relax. We want to take it easy. We don't want the hustle and bustle of a carnival type atmosphere inside a KOA. State parks tend to be at a much slower pace. You'll find other seniors taking walks, riding bikes, going fishing, playing frisbee golf, and it's much easier to strike up a conversation with somebody that's retired. You know, we've had some of our best times with our neighbors at state campgrounds. You get to know them. We call them weekend friends. We sit there, we talk about their trailer or our RV, their RV, what kind of truck we have, where they live, what they used to do. It's just a generally good atmosphere. That's why we call them weekend friends. Activities and accessibilities, number 4. KOAs shine when it comes to activities for kids and families. There's no doubt about that. You're not going to replace that at a state park. because you're not going to have arcade games, swimming pools, and bounce houses. But most seniors, they don't want that. Most seniors want hiking trails, bike trails, nature trails, historical sites, frisbee golf, a much more laid-back attitude. I was at Milford Lake when we were camping, and they had a guided tour to go on a birdwatching tour. There were 8 of us, 4 couples. We got on this tour, and this was a volunteer that led the tour. It's good. Teach us about bird watching, teaching us about the birds of Kansas. But you know what? She taught us about plants. She taught us about aquatic life. She taught us about trees. She taught us about the bugs, the spiders, the critters that live there. And, you know, we got to meet people as we were walking. When you're walking on a walking tour with 3 other couples, and they're all of retirement age, you strike up conversations. You know, we're like-minded people. We were retired. We have kids. We have grandkids. We have RVs. We like the slower pace of state parks. It's easy to make friends. Reason number 5, space and privacy. At a KOA, or the KOA I stayed in, I've stayed in 3. All 3 of them, they put those campsites as close together as they can. And sometimes it seems like your neighbor's slide's sticking out over your picnic table. And they do that for a reason. They need to pack people in because it's a for-profit enterprise. It's a business. So they need to get as many campers in that KOA spot as they can, which restricts you. It doesn't give you the wide open spaces that a state park has. All the state parks I've been to, the campsites are huge. They usually have picnic tables and fire rings and lantern holders, and they generally have trees for shade. And the atmosphere is just much nicer. They're so much bigger. You have a little bit more privacy. You can sit around your campfire and read a book or do whatever you need to do. You can relax. But when you're all squeezed in a KOA, you don't feel like you have any privacy at all, because it seems like that guy's looking out the window at you. He's only 7 feet away from you. Or in a state park, at least he's 27 feet away from you. The other thing are the camp hosts. I found that the camp hosts at state parks are all retired people. And it's so easy to strike up a conversation. They'll give you a few hints. They'll tell you things to do, what time, you know, they pick up the trash from the dumpsters, about the bathhouses. And it's truly a good experience. You know, you get like-minded people, you tend to get along. When you go into a KOA, I'm 67. I'm camping next to a guy that's 30 years old and has 3 kids that are 3, 5, and 7. You know, there's an age gap there, and a difference of needs. It's just the way it is. Let's be fair. KOAs do have their places. If you're traveling cross country with a family, it's a great place to stop. I mean, you can stop in, you know, at 7, 8 o'clock at night. You can hop in send the kids a swimming pool while mom and dad cook dinner. And then when the kids are done swimming, you cook dinner, you go to bed, you get up early the next morning and leave. That's what KOAs are great for doing. You can't knock them for that. And since they're close to the highway, it's easy, exit on, exit off. But if you're looking for a long, relaxing stay, you need to go to a state park so you can take in nature and take in the beauty and the sounds of nature. You're not going to get that at a KOA. So, what do you prefer, state parks or KOAs? I prefer state parks. Why don't you put in the comments what you prefer and give me your reasons. I love reading comments. Let me tell you what, I learn more about people from reading my comments. It's just amazing. Okay, I think that'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Again, if you like what you're seeing here at Lake to Lake, give me a thumbs up and subscribe and ring that bell and tell me around the campfire. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.